Salutations, crustaceans. I'm Lobster, and this is the brand new U7 from Sire. Sire Guitars has recently dropped a whole bunch of new models, and we're going to be checking out most of those real soon. But the one that stood out to me the most, especially after playing all of them, was this, the U7, and I wanted to showcase that one first. Big thank you to Sire for sending us this bass for review. I really appreciate it. The Sire U7 here is a very interesting instrument, and it is reminiscent of a Fender Aerodyne, which is a very popular model, which I personally enjoyed very much. But it has a few interesting Sire touches here, and a few new touches as well that we did not see in previous Sire models. Now let's start out by talking about the specs of our Sire U7 here. This bass has an alder body, finished in a gorgeous rose gold metallic. Now we have two other finish options as well. I believe it's a surf green and then a matte black. And the black finish comes with a rosewood fingerboard, whereas the green and the rose gold here come with the maple fingerboard. But I'm getting ahead of myself. So we have an alder body here, and that has no pickguard, no real exterior accoutrements like a control plate. We just have the four knobs, one switch, two pickups, a bridge, and a neck. A very almost minimalist look, especially for a Sire, which is known for having a very full knob set. One of Johnny Dibble's favorite basses because it just has so many knobs. Sire has listened to the feedback of its consumers and simplified the preamp for the U7. So what we have is a two-band with a master volume, a blend control, and then a bass and treble control. We also have a bypass switch that bypasses the two-band preamp, but unfortunately we don't have a passive tone control. Some manufacturers, like I believe Ibanez and Yamaha, do offer a passive tone control in their active instruments when you bypass the preamp. It's an extra step and an extra cost, more complicated wiring, but it would be nice to see as just like an icing on the cake for this particular instrument. But I've been playing with this a lot, and I don't think you're losing out with just the active two-band here and not having a passive tone control. Again, it would be nice for flexibility, especially if you're bypassing the preamp, but it's not a deal breaker here in my opinion. We also have this glorious Sire PJ modern pickup set here. They have closed covers, and this is the first time they've used closed covers on some of their pickups. We have a split P here, as well as a split coil J. This is a hum canceling J, so you can solo this without any sort of single coil hum, and it complements the P pickup perfectly. And if you notice the position of the J pickup here, it is in the 16th position, a little bit closer to the pickup versus closer to the bridge, like what we see in the 70s position basses, like the V8, the V7 Vintage, and the V5. And in my opinion, this is one of the better sounding PJ basses, with this pickup location combination as well as just the pickup combination in general. The PJ configuration, when you're using both pickups together, sounds just really nice, and we'll hear that when I play the bass. We also have the same style knob that you see in the U5, which is the aluminum knob. Honestly, the innards are plastic and kind of fragile, so you have to be very careful if you're going to be removing these knobs. I'm not really a huge fan of them, but they look nice on this bass. For the bridge, we have the same style bridge that we see on the V5, which has these slotted saddles, allowing you to fine-tune your string spacing here with this bridge. Out of the box, it is strung up at a 19mm string spacing by default, but again, you can kind of fine-tune that with these ridged saddles here, allowing you to get a little bit tighter string spacing or a little bit wider if you have that preference. And just like most other Sires, we have the option to string either through the bridge or through the body, and we are currently strung through the body with our Stay in Tune Foundation nickels, gauges 45 to 105. Moving on to the neck, this is where things get really interesting. This is a 22 fret maple on maple neck with a 9.5-inch radius, 34-inch scale, and a 38mm nut width. Most Fenders usually feature 19 or 20 frets, maybe 21, but this has 22, which is a nice touch. You have that extended range. And you have nice access here with this little cutaway. Another nice touch about the U7, which is pretty unique, are these inlays. And they are these like elongated ovals almost. They're like a really cool shape, and they're abalone with a little black inlay bit inside. I'll show a close-up of these inlays just to see how cool they are, because I really like the look of them. It's very unique and it works well with this U7 bass. And then moving up to the headstock, we have the standard 4-in-line Sire headstock. It is color matched like it is with the other two finishes here. And we have the standard Sire tuners, as well as the standard 4-string Sire string tree that houses the A string, the D string, and the G string. We also have the Sire logo, the Marcus Miller text, as well as the model name, stating that this is a U7. Now for my favorite part of all these videos, let's spin this bass around. Boop. As this bass is spinning around, we can just look at the contours of the body. This is a very similar shape to that of the U5, which is their short scale PJ. And I say that's significant because you do have a bit of a hard edge right here. It's not as bad as the U5 with the binding, which is a bit more pronounced, but it is definitely noticeable, and depending on how you hold the instrument, it can dig into your forearm a little bit. Again, it really depends on how you're holding it. We can also see the profile of this body. It's a very thin body. They're definitely trying to go for an Aerodyne aesthetic in regards to being a lightweight instrument, but we'll talk about weight in a little bit. And then around back, this is where things also get really interesting. We have a 5-screw neck attachment here with a contoured neck heel. This isn't what we normally see on most other Sire basses, so this is meant for comfort accessing those upper 22 frets. We also have an 18-volt preamp for this 2-band and a large cavity control. I think that this is going to be a great mod platform if we choose to go down that route. We'll see what the future holds, but I have no idea. And as we come back around again, we can admire this beautiful rose gold finish here. I really like how this bass looks. Though personally, I would have left out the paint matched headstock. I think that with a maple board, just having a maple headstock would have been fine, but I'm definitely not complaining here. This is a gorgeous instrument. And how much does our Sire U7 here weigh? This particular example comes in at 9.2 pounds, which I would say is rather average for a Fender-shaped object here. Overall, it is, I'd say, decently weighted. But as we all know, weight really doesn't matter much if the bass does not balance well. So let's see how our Sire U7 balances. On the lap without a strap, like most jazz basses, especially ones without lightweight tuners, we do get a bit of neck dive. I also know that this area has kind of been moved back a bit in order to allow for more access to these upper frets. So that definitely kind of changes the balance ever so slightly. However, with the strap, if the strap had more tension and if I didn't play it lower, it would definitely be negated. The neck dive is not that bad with a strap. And then standing up, I have no neck dive issues whatsoever. This bass is pretty well balanced. I knew I was forgetting something. How much does our Sire U7 here cost? These come in at $599 regardless of finish. And that is a well-priced bass considering all the features that this has, as well as the very nice aesthetics. But now I'm wondering, does it play as good as it looks? Let's find out. This is a very fun bass. Let me move over here a little bit. Okay. This is a very fun bass. The neck profile is the standard jazz profile, and with the satin finish on the back and the gloss finish on the fingerboard, you get all the looks of the gloss without the stickiness. So this is a very easy neck to navigate. I don't have any pokey ends on my frets, and overall it was already pretty well dialed in from the factory. I just lowered the action once I installed these SIT strings and let her rip. Oh, this is a fun one. This is a fun one. So what you've heard was everything centered. And it's a well-balanced PJ, and I just like the sound. And I'm, again, usually not a fan of PJs and their PJ configuration, but this one does it well. As I mentioned, we have a 2-band preamp here. We have no passive tone control, even with the preamp bypassed, but we can bypass the preamp. Here's what the preamp sounds like, not engaged. I don't know what that was, but that is what this bass sounds like with the preamp bypassed. As you could probably hear, there is a pretty big drop off in volume, but we do have a gain control in the control cavity to control how much the preamp gives us a bump. And I think as it's currently set, it's a little bit on the spicy side, but I kind of dig it, especially with these pickups. Let's go over to our neck pickup here, the P. I believe this is in the typical P-bass location, correct me if I'm wrong, but it sounds very nice. Here's the P-bass pickup with the preamp centered. This is fun. So it's a very nice P-bass sound with the preamp centered a little on the bright side, but we can dial that back with this treble control and maybe dial up a little more bass, and here's what we get. Okay, let's dial back the treble all the way and bring up our bass a little bit more and see if we can get that fat P-bass tone. this is fun. Now let's do the opposite. Let's try to get a little bit more grungy. We're gonna take the bass down to about like a 50% cut and boost our treble. Ooh, that's too much. This treble control is a bit spicy. So I would probably turn down the gain a little bit on the preamp. That was a lot. Ouch. Honestly, I wouldn't take down the bass because it kind of removes a lot of the presence that you would have in the mix. Let's take the bass up back to center and... Oh, I just have it at center again. I don't know what I'm doing. Yeah, so that's a pretty nice tone just at center. A bit on the bright side. I wouldn't boost anything on the treble side. So maybe instead of having a active treble control, maybe volume, blend, tone, and then a bass boost? I don't know. That would be maybe a better configuration, because in my opinion here, this treble control is a bit unruly, especially with the preamp gain configured as it is. And now let's move over to our bridge pickup here. Again, this is a jazz pickup. It is a split coil, so it's a humbucker. We're not getting any single coil hum. Nothing. Ooh. Ooh. Sorry. Oh no, I'm making a mess. Everything's broken. We're good. Oh, this is fun. So we are on the bridge pickup here. In this 60s position, this is a split coil. We get no single coil hum. And in my opinion, it sounds very good. Here's what this sounds like with the preamp centered. Very nice. Again, at center, it's maybe a little on the bright side, but this pickup sounds good. Let's take the treble down all the way. Let's see what happens. And boost our bass a little bit. Let's see if we can get that sound. Okay, too much treble cut. Let's cut it 50%. Oh yeah, I have fun with this. I've been playing this one a lot recently. Let's center our blend control and center our preamp and have some fun. Again, just such nice tone out of this. For $5.99, it's like a nice choice for just a intermediate style bass that will last you a while and just has a lot of nice features as well as great upgradability. Let's take our treble down to about 50% and boost our bass a little bit. Oh yeah. So again, a flexible bass. However, this treble control is a little on the heavy-handed side. So I would pretty much stick it center or anywhere below center. Going above that, use it at your own risk because things can get pretty gnarly. And I don't want to demonstrate that again. So now let's go ahead and grab our pick. I found it, but it's in the other room and I forgot to grab it. Be right back. We got our pick here. Let's see what this bass sounds like. Preamp centered, pickup selector centered with a pick. Not bad. I really dig that with a pick. And again, I'm not using any effects, no compression. I am playing through a $300 Ampeg Rocket. Not this orange is just for show because it's pretty and orange, but Ampeg Rocket is there off screen. That's what this bass sounds like through a cheap amp, some nice strings, and me playing it, but I'm just fantastic anyways. But seriously, this is a nice sounding PJ bass. And now let's go over to our neck pickup, the P pickup, just with the pick, preamp center. Yeah. Good. Now, I didn't even play with the EQ. I don't care. We're moving over to the bridge pickup. Okay, let's get rid of this. Let's get rid of this. I'm gonna put that down there. I'll remember where it is. Good things, good things. Let's move over back to the centered position on our pickup selector here, and thumby thumby time. Not bad, not bad. This thing sounds quite nice. A little on the bright side, a little too snappy for me. Let's take down our treble control and bring up our bass a little. Oh, this is a fun one. I have a lot of fun with this U7 here. Hi, puppy. How are you? Hi. We have a dog here today. This is my dog. His name is Tiggy Piggy, and he's such a good boy, and I love him so much. I love him so much. And back to the bass. Let's center our preamp. Oh, I know you want more pets. Let's center our preamp. Oh my God. This is gonna be impossible to do. We're gonna do our best, okay? Okay, let's center our preamp while also petting the dog. And we're gonna go over to the neck pickup and have the EQ centered first. Tiggy, oh my God. You're so fucking cute. Okay, now we are on our neck pickup. Tiggy! Have you finished filming? Oh my God, you're all tangled up. Okay, let me fix you. Let me fix you. Okay, you're fixed. You're all good. You're all good, puppy. You're so cute. So as you heard, that was again a little on the bright side. Let's take down our treble about 50% and boost our bass a little bit. Here's what that sounds like on our P pickup. So as you can hear, this is a nice sounding bass with the P pickup soloed, the treble cut back a little bit, and the bass boosted while slapping. So again, this is a powerful EQ. We have a very heavy-handed treble control. Use that essentially center and down as like a tone control. Don't boost it unless you want to like hurt somebody, but just don't do that. There should be like a warning because it is bright. And now, my favorite part, we are going to move away from our little Ampeg rocket combo and get onto our Trickfish Bullhead Mini 500. This is a 500 watt mini head, and I have two 12-inch cabinets behind me as well, so I can hear the glorious tone that this amp makes. But you are going to be hearing it direct. We also have our plethora of effects that we're going to mess around with. We're going to have fun. Very nice tone from our Trickfish. So I still have the treble cut back a bit, and our bass is now centered because this amp provides plenty of bass. So this is our U7 here with our Trickfish, which I'm pointing over here for. And it is a very nice sounding combo, but I know what we're all here for. We are here for the fun bits. Let's have our big muff engaged first. That was fun. So that was with the big muff engaged. Next up, let's mess around with our MXR Poly Blue Octaver. I don't know what that little bit of distortion is. It's probably something in my pedal setup. I will fix that later. Next up, let's have some reverb and a little bit of chorus. And I'm gonna have our bridge pickup enabled. Now let's center our pickup selector, and we are going to engage the microcosm. Here are my final thoughts on our Sire U7. Overall, this is an extremely nice, well-rounded instrument, especially for the $599 price tag. The two-band preamp is very flexible, however, the treble control is a bit heavy-handed. It would have been nice to see the implementation of a passive tone control and maybe a bass boost to make this a bit more usable, but as it stands right now, the treble control functions more than adequately as a treble cut as well, so you can utilize that for your treble cutting needs. These pickups definitely sound great and sound the part. It's nice to have a noiseless PJ setup at this price point, especially an active one with a preamp that's just right in terms of complexity. So for somebody's, first nicer bass or maybe first active bass and they don't want necessarily all the bells and whistles, this is a nice option, especially compared to one of those Sadowski Metro Express basses from China. They're much more expensive than this, have essentially the same features, minus a few things, but this is like half the price and it's way better. The 22 fret neck is a joy to play. It's nice to have those extra 2 frets for those extra high little riffs you want to do. If you're not into the high frets, you really don't have to play it. However, because of the change in ergonomics, I believe the leg cutout here is a little bit shifted, and that does affect balance in the lap ever so slightly. But with a strap, that is negated completely. The Sire tuners that are featured here are what appear to be the more premium tuners that we see on their higher end basses, so they don't really stick. They're the same weight as those, so they're not the lightest tuners in the world, but they function very well. I've had no issues with these particular ones whatsoever. I appreciate that Sire is taking some chances in regards to the additional frets, the really nice colors. I love this rose gold, and I'm excited to see it in other basses as well. And just the inlay design, I mean, this is not standard like Fender stuff. And Sire's been known for essentially making jazz bass and P-bass copies, maybe with an active twist, some passive ones. But to see something that's a bit more unique is very nice. I'm trying to think of any other real downsides to the U7 here. The only thing that I can think of is the treble control and maybe lack of a passive tone control in passive mode here, but small potatoes for an otherwise great sounding, great playing bass that is at a very solid price point. Undercutting Fender, hitting basically what a high-end Squire would come in at. We've seen some Squires at around $500-600. I hope we don't see any more of those unless they command that price, but this bass definitely does. I'm very happy with what Sire has done here, and I think they're moving in the right direction in regards to flexibility on parts, flexibility on design, and just a variety of cool finishes. So overall, this is a great bass for pretty much any player. I think that it offers a lot of great features at a great price. And I don't know, I just dig it. I mean, look at it, it's so pretty. And this bass would also make for a great mod platform. I know maybe some cream-colored EMGs would look real nice in that, or maybe some white ones. We'll see what the future holds. But that will do it for our review of our Sire U7 here. Let us know what you think about the Sire U7 down in the comments below, as well as let me know what you think about this video, because I had a blast making it. These are so much fun. And yeah, thank you all for watching, and until we groove again.